So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the £30 billion cost of Liz Truss's disastrous mini-budget. This video being recorded before Jeremy Hunt's budget announcement. This video being recorded on the 16th to the 11th, so sorry I'm quite far behind as always. But that's what happens when you don't have time to make videos anymore. So Truss's disastrous mini-budget cost the country a staggering £30 billion, doubling the sum that the Treasury says will have to be raised by Jeremy Hunt this week in a huge programme of tax rises and spending cuts. The Independent Resolution Foundation calculates that Truss's government was responsible for about £30 billion of the fiscal hole, which the Treasury puts at £60 billion, and which Hunt will have to tackle in the autumn statement. This was a budget that was not even implemented. The announcement itself cost £30 billion, still less than test and trace, but even still it's a high bar to pay for bogus economics. The think tank also says the £30 billion figure would have been far higher without the U-turns taken by Jeremy Hunt on the Liz Truss plans. Hunt managed to stabilise the currency and bond prices for the most part. The RF's economists estimate that in her 7-week premiership, $20 billion was blown by Truss and her Chancellor Kwarteng on unfunded cuts to national insurance and stamp duty, with a further $10 billion added by higher interest rates and government borrowing costs as the market reacted with dismay. Let's also not forget that she voted in support of raising national insurance when Sunak was Chancellor, and then she tried to cut them. So she has no idea what she's doing. That $10 billion is mainly due to bond yields, I think, being higher, most likely. We saw yields climb dramatically, along with interest rates pushing the cost of borrowing up even more. That's even if the government can keep selling bonds, given how unstable the UK looks right now. Other countries are looking like a much better bet, to the point where some hedge funds are openly betting against the UK. And let's not forget that some insurance companies and pension funds, they often buy UK bonds to leverage that to raise more money to buy either more UK bonds to keep the cycle going, or to buy other assets. So if UK bonds aren't seen as decent collateral, it means that they won't be purchased for collateral, which means they have less use in the financial industry. The estimates of the cost of Trussonomics will intensify a bitter blame game now being played out amongst the top of the Tory party. It's funny because they have no real choice but to blame each other. Think about it, the excuse of global factors is wearing thin. Can't blame Brexit because that's on them. Blame the mini-budget, sure, but at the end of the day, Truss won the second most votes from Tory MPs and the most from the membership. They have to own this. They can't just hide behind the pandemic for things that are impacting mostly the UK. Even Bailey has said this is down to global factors. This isn't just down to global factors. And a former Bank of England advisor has said that if Brexit had not happened, there would be no need for the Austerity 2.0 budget, which shows you how much Brexit has cost, at least according to this economist. That's an interesting statement, but Brexit was our choice, as was the mini-budget, so the Tories have to own this. The media will have to do a better job of pointing these things out. Don't leave it to a bunch of clowns like myself on YouTube. While many Conservative MPs will be angered by more tax rises, the Chancellor is expected to make clear that he is in large part having to repair the damage caused by the last occupant, which was Liz Truss, and she was obviously backed by a lot of the right-wing Tory MPs, like the ones in the ERG. Kwarteng tried to distance himself in probably one of the most shameful displays I've ever seen, saying he told Truss to slow down and warned her that she would only survive for 2 months in Downing Street if she pressed ahead with her full tax-cutting agenda. She didn't last for 2 months. She lasted a lot less than that. But Kwarteng's the one that set the budget. That's the problem. You know, the Chancellor has a lot of autonomy in their role, and they set the budget, and that's on him. If you want to slow things down, he could have U-turned on it, which he did weeks later, but the damage was already done. At least he U-turned on part of it, not all of it. If Sunak and Hunt blame Truss for the problems caused by her tenure, then it could be a big rift in the Tory. Could cause a big rift in the Tory party, but also show how badly the Tories have damaged the economy. That the Tory PM Sunak has to fix the mess of the Tory PM Liz Truss. How bad a look is that, given how much damage austerity has done to the country since 2010? In an interview with the Sunday Times, Hunt said Truss was right to want to grow the economy, but was wrong to do so without making sure the tax cuts were unfunded. Growth, pie. There's some speculation on what Hunt might do, so I'll admit a lot of that from this video because it's speculation. I'll probably do a video on the budget if it's worth doing. Last night, Hunt was also under political pressure from the Red Wall seat, the chair of the Northern Research Group, because everyone has a research group. A 40 Conservative backbenchers, John Stevenson, wrote to Hunt calling for guarantees that they would still get the quote level up funds, which Not going to happen, most likely. Government departments and local councils have complained that the practical effects of inflation leave them out of pocket. Hospitals and schools are expected to fall further into debt next year without a large boost to their funding. Councils say they are trying to tackle the £3.2 billion shortfall next year with higher council tax rises, so it's going to be even less people. So taxes are essentially staying where they are, which means people will be paying more in effective tax. You've got that cost of living going up dramatically, cost of food, cost of energy, cost of transport, everything's going up. Cost of council tax going up. There's a lot of concern around this budget. Red Wall Tories clearly are concerned because they have very little to show their voters that the Tories care about them. The fact that schools and hospitals are going further into debt is genuinely horrifying. Schools and hospitals already have super overstretched budgets thanks to the Tories. Imagine stories of schools or hospitals declaring bankruptcy or having debt collectors called in. This is Tory Britain. Never forget what they've done to the UK. What kind of developed country has schools and hospitals that are in debt? Honestly, it's shameful. Absolutely shameful. A quite developed country anyways. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.